Welcome to the Lawrence County SportsNet podcast series here at lcsportsnet.com. Lawrence County SportsNet powered by LCAP, and glad to be able to give you these, call it twice monthly or bi-monthly meetings here on the podcast series. They're delivered by Penn Ohio Bottled Water. Make sure you give Penn Ohio Bottled Water a call for delivery of your 3 to 5 gallon systems, or get cases of bottles delivered straight to your home or work. We're going to break down the latest updates 1 week after the new year. So section play in full swing now for all the teams in the county. Some great teams to look at. And that reminds us that we need to look at one of the best teams in the county right now. It's time for our December awards to be announced. And we'll start with that LCAP Team of the Month. Lots of great options out there for us to look at. One of the honorable mentions, the Newcastle boys losing their starters from last year. Only one returning player. They start 9-1. Wilmington girls basketball, they played without their top scorer the first 3 games. They still end up with a 6-2 record. Lots of different people getting in the scoring column there. 2 great honorable mentions, but we're going to give the LCAP Team of the Month 10 straight wins, a 10-1 start for the Neshannock Lancers. Very similar to the Newcastle team. Lost a lot of their starters, but they are off red hot to begin the year. Congratulations to Coach John Corey and the Neshannock Lancers boys basketball team. Our December LCAP Team of the Month. Very well-deserving. Off to a 10-1 start. And big section games coming up for sure. They already got 1 section win against Elwood City. Mohawk coming up in about a week. Beaver Falls also, they have beaten Beaver Falls already. So that's 2 of the top 3 opponents expected in the section. They've got wins over as well. So Neshannock, your LCAP Team of the Month for December. As for the LGKG Male and Female Athlete of the Month, well, let's start on the female side. And the Female Athlete of the Month for December, well, when you're averaging 15 points, 15 rebounds per game. Oh, and you also hit the 1,000-point mark. Yeah, tough not to go with Kelly Cleaver of Union. Oh, by the way, also averaging 3 steals and 3 blocks a game to start the year is Union's senior. So congratulations, Kelly Cleaver, your LGKG Female Athlete of the Month for December. The final award, LGKG and Red Zone present the Male Athlete of the Month award. And again, the numbers are just too hard to pass up. Elwood City's Joseph Roth, how about 25 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists per game, kind of running a point forward, and playing for an Elwood City team that's playing pretty solid basketball right now to start the season. Oh, by the way, he's also, swimming about 5,000 yards in the pool every day before going out and playing ball. So Joe Roth continuing to move up the all-time points ladder. He's in the top 15, by the way, in terms of Lawrence County scoring for boys basketball. Joseph Roth of Elwood City, your LGKG Red Zone Male Athlete of the Month for December. The Athletes of the Month will receive their customized t-shirts from the Red Zone, and the Team of the Month will be getting some special recognition as well. Stay tuned. We have some fun things in the works to be getting out to all the Teams of the Month so far for this year. Your LGKG Athletes of the Month, your LCAP Team of the Month, congratulations to them. We're going to step aside and be back to break down some of the latest updates with the hoops teams in Lawrence County. It's the Lawrence County SportsNet podcast delivered by Penn Ohio Bottled Water.
I think the key to any attorney-client relationship is trust. My father told me a long time ago, the definition of personal integrity is really simple. Do what you say you're going to do. At LGKG, we've been doing that for over 80 years.
For more than 120 years, people have been relying upon Martindale Hubbell's AV preeminent rating to select their attorneys. If you're involved in a workers' compensation situation, you should do the same. LGKG has been AV rated for over 40 years.
I love what I do because coming in every day is different. How can you not enjoy these kids coming up and hugging you and giving you these great smiles all throughout the day?
Seeing the progress that our kids make every single day is one of the reasons I love coming to school.
What should we do? We have fun.
LCAP Early Learning Centers is hiring. Help empower young minds in Lawrence County and become a superhero today. Apply at lcap.org.
Congratulations again to our LCAP Team of the Month and our LGKG Male and Female Athlete of the Month for December. Remember, January voting will begin. Your nominations, that is, will begin at about January 20th, 21st is when we'll have the forms open. So make sure you stay tuned at lcsportsnet.com on social media as well, and we'll get all of those updates on there and ready to go. But in the meantime, we need to update you on what's going on here across Lawrence County. We'll get a quick rundown of all the standings and all of the updates in both the boys and girls action for the hoop season. We'll start on the girls' side. How about Wilmington? A 7-2 start to the year. Their only losses are against a very talented Erie team to begin the season, Erie High, and then a holiday loss against one of the top teams in Class 5A in the WPIL in Lincoln Park. Those are the only two losses on the year. Congratulations, Leah Crarup, hitting 1,000 points. Man, was that a nerve-wracking game, as it was a struggle early against Hickory, but then found their groove, did Wilmington in the second half of that game. Big one tonight, as it's a battle for first place here on Monday night between Wilmington and Grove City. Our friends at 96.7 up north will have the coverage of that one. Union in Class 1A in the WPIL, also 2-0 in section play, 8-5 overall for the Scotties. Kelly Cleaver, 15 points per game, 15 rebounds per game. I mean, that I think says enough right there. She hit the 1,000-point mark back in December. She's about to hit the 1,000-point mark at Union alone, had her freshman season at Shenango. And I think, again, the big one I'm looking at is you have a couple of players on Union, who are shooting lights out, 35% or better. Furstorfer, Cameron, Addie Nogue shooting up there as well. I think that's a big thing to keep your eye on throughout the course of the rest of this season. Because right now, Union's going to need to find that third scorer. You know that Kelly Cleaver, Kylie Furstorfer are going to do the brunt of the scoring, get that third, maybe fourth scoring option consistently. This Union team is going to have a great chance to repeat, not only as district contenders, but as state contenders as well. Bumping up to Class 2A, defending WPIAL champion Shenango Wildcats. Here's a crazy scoreline for the 3-5 Shenango Wildcats. How about this? They defeated New Brighton, scores 56-5, and did not allow a field goal in that game. You know what? Assistant coach Bob Mattel, he's going to be very proud of that. He was the interim coach. Coach Rocco unable to attend that game. And, hey, that's technically a national record, the fewest number of field goals ever allowed in a game. So I guess congratulations to Coach Nattel on that. Ella Farrell and Mara DeFrank, the leading scorers on the year so far for the Cats. In Class 3A, shout out to the Neshannock Lancers. Very quietly, a 6-4 start to the season for Old Nesh. I guess more than anything, they're finding ways to win. Of course, you lose 3 or 4 starters who were, 3-year starters really for this Neshannock team, going to a couple of state championships in that route as well. I look at what Neshannock did in their game against Laurel. It was a tight game for a while. They were able to really extend the lead late and get that win at home over a tough Laurel team. We'll talk about them in a minute, but give a shout out to Peyton Newman, the career-high 21 points in that game for the Lancers. They are at the top of the division right now. Beaver Falls also at 2-0. Those two scheduled to play next week. Mohawk on tap on Thursday, hosting Neshannock. Mohawk, a 8-4 record. They've split their 2 section games so far here in the year, with their lone loss coming in section play to Beaver Falls last week. Aaron Capalbo, one of the top scorers right now in the county, over 900 career points. So keep your eye on Miss Capalbo making her way towards 1,000. And Chloe Fadden has become a nice number 2 scoring option, especially shooting from downtown. One of the top 5 3-point shooters right now in the county. Elwood City has an equal record of 8-4 and 1-1 in section play for the Lady Wolverines. And when you look at them, it's Kayla Jones, Claire Noble have been a nice 1-2 punch, and Delaney Sturgeon is becoming that good third scoring option, just under 10 points a game for Delaney Sturgeon. Keep an eye on that trio throughout the rest of this year, because those three teams with Beaver Falls, Neshannock, Elwood City, and Mohawk Beaver Falls, I think those are going to be fun battles the rest of the way through for sure here in Class 3A's Section 1. And I'll tell you what, Laurel, although their record doesn't look great at 2-9, 0-2 in section play, they're putting up fights each and every game they go out. They kept Mohawk within a 6-point final. They were right there with Neshannock. Things kind of fell apart in the fourth quarter, but they played the Lancers tough on the road as well. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries, and Kendra Ruperto, really the main returner from last year's squad, out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. You're going to have a lot of young players who are having to step up. Kendra's the only senior on that team, and she will no longer be playing this year. Well, the Laurel boys don't have any seniors on the roster now either. That's incredible stuff. But Cheyenne Tyndall really becoming a sharpshooter from beyond the arc. Right now, second in the county in terms of three-pointers made on the season. They're going to have to continue to work that ball around the perimeter and try to get a little more of an inside game, but definitely when they're shooting the way they are, they're going to be able to stay in some games. So keep an eye on what this Laurel team can do, because they're going to work you. We'll leave it at that, no matter what, throughout all of their games. And finally, let's talk about Newcastle. They got the top scorer right now in Lawrence County, averaging just shy of 18 points a game, is Rihanna Boyce. She has a couple of high-scoring games, a 36-point game earlier this year, and talked about it. She's got over half of the team's points on the year. Yes, the Canes are only 2-11, but again, they're going to keep on fighting. It's a very tough section, very similar to what we saw for the football conference for Newcastle. They're going to keep on fighting. You know that, and we're going to be excited to see what numbers Miss Boyce can get to. Because I'll tell you what, the other thing that's fun to see about her, she is averaging about 8 free throw attempts per game. She's getting to the foul line. She's making them, 78%, really helping her stat line and really helping keep her team in some of these games that could be even worse at times. So really like what we're seeing out of her. Best of luck to the Canes the rest of the year. Let's take a quick pause. We'll come back. We'll look at the boys' side and get you your updates here. The weekend of January 7th, January 8th here on the Lawrence County SportsNet podcast, delivered by Penn Ohio Bottled Water.
Don't get left out to dry. Call the Penn Ohio Bottled Water Company for the fastest and most efficient bottled water delivery service in the area. Penn Ohio offers bottled water ranging from 16.9-ounce bottles to 5-gallon jugs, perfect for your next event or office water cooler system. Also, don't forget to ask about their custom labeling options. Visit PennOhioBottledWater.com for more information and to get a quote on their delivery services. Whether it's at home, in the office, or on the sidelines, Penn Ohio has you covered.
And again, we thank our friends at Penn Ohio Bottled Water for all they do for us and delivering your water and delivering you these factoids throughout the course of the year. We'll continue this all the way up into the playoffs, and we'll be giving pretty much weekly playoff updates as well throughout this winter season. On the boys' side of things, let's start with the Canes. Came into the new year with a 9-1 record, but then the back-to-back games, basically a Wednesday, Friday, did not go well for the Canes. Lost to Newcastle on the road, and then coming home in a loss to the Butler Golden Tornado. A 0-2 start to section play hasn't happened in the Coach Blundo era. Last time Newcastle started 0-2 in section play was back in the 2009-2010 season, the last year before Coach Blundo took over. Still a lot of season left to go. It's not going to get any easier, though. You go straight down to Central Catholic here this week on Tuesday. And when you look at this Newcastle team, you know it's 6 or 7 deep is all Coach Blundo is going, and they got the scorers. Can they just put it all together at once? I mean, you got 5 different players who have scored 14 or more points in a game this year. It's the idea of, can you get it all together and all clicking at the same time? I mean, Ralphie Blundo, 43 threes on the year. He's now over 100 career threes, and that's right now the top for the for anybody in the county this year with 43 total. Damian Harrison is third in the county with 32 made three-pointers. So they're able to shoot it. They just need to get a few more to fall consistently when one's shooting well, that another one is also shooting well, and keep that inside presence with a JT Warren. And Kyrell Harris driving to the lane has looked good as well. They just got to put it together for a full 32 minutes consistently, and that's basically, again, when Blundo's the only one who really played consistent minutes last year. That's, I think, going to be the biggest key to this team, is getting that consistent mark for the rest of the year. Let's drop down to Class 3A, where the Neshannock Lancers, man, they're off to a rip-roaring start. 11-1 right now overall. 11 straight wins after their opening day loss to Mercyhurst Prep. And they're getting it done with the defense. Third best defense in all of Class 3A in the WPIAL. Davey Quat, one of the top scorers, though, in Lawrence County, 17 points per game for him. But I love the multitude of scorers you have. Anthony Bonner, 9 points per game. Talon Anderton's at 9 points per game. Jake Rind at 8. LJ Keith at 7. Matt Sopko coming off the bench, about 6 per game. They are getting the balance that you really haven't seen from a Neshannock team in quite some time, and I think that's going to be their key, is continuing with that balance throughout the course of this season. Joining them at the top right now of that section is Mohawk. They're 5-6 overall, but a perfect 3-0 start to the section for the Warriors here so far on the year, and they got a dynamic duo as well. I mean, Bobby Fadden, 22 points per game, and kind of like we talked about with Rihanna Boyce, you're talking about in Fadden here, gets to the line about 8 times per game. That's a great way to slow down a game when you need to and get some points with the clock stopped. Makes it for a very formidable opponent for sure. It's going to be interesting how this one plays out for Mohawk, because they have Riverside, New Brighton this week, Beaver over the weekend, and then the off day, they play Starlers on Sunday as well before they play Neshannock at Neshannock on Tuesday. That'll be the big one on the 16th that we'll be keeping our eye on. Neshannock, how will they fare in their next 2 games? That's only one section game this week, and it's also against New Brighton. So very possible we'll be seeing a pair of 5-0 teams in section play when we're there at good old Nesh in just over a week's time. The other team you got to keep your eye on, though, obviously, is Elwood City, currently third in the section behind the Lancers and the Warriors. 2-2 in section play, 6-6 overall, and it all begins with Joe Roth, of course, 25 points a game, 14 rebounds a game, 5 assists per game. I mean, that's, I think, the big number that might get overlooked a lot, is that he's kind of running a point-forward style of play and doing it very well, and keeps racking up the all-time points. He's over 1,700 points all-time now. Just to take a look at the numbers, guess what? That puts him at number 12 all-time, and he's still got lots and lots of season ahead of him to crack that top 10, if not higher, for sure. In fact, he's on pace that he should be getting close to 2,000, which would also make him Elwood City's all-time scoring leader for the boys as well. But that's, again, neither here nor there. Not worried about the individual numbers, well, unless he's in the pool, because that is individual for most of his events. But at the same time, you look at what they've done with getting that supporting cast around him. Colton Kreiser, the main beneficiary of averaging 10 per game. Aaron Lake has been a nice little addition as well. I think it's can you get the shooters to make the jump shots when everybody converges on the big man down low, and keep sending us those dunk videos, because we've seen plenty of pretty darn good ones there from Joe Ross so far on the season. Jump down to Class 2A, where Shenango, they split their opening week of games 1-1 in section play, defeated Laurel by 20 on the road, but then a tough loss at home to Northgate on Friday night. Put Shenango, right in the thick of things here to get things going, because it's going to be Aliquippa, it's going to be Shenango, it's going to be Northgate, and probably Southside Beaver as the teams to keep your eye on. We'll talk about Southside here in 1 second, but Brody McQuist and Joe Campoli have been the strong punch, and Jimmy Rowe is the outside shooter, averaging 9 points a game as that third scoring option. And again, you really do need to have that third and fourth really consistent scoring option to be a threat, and especially when you're going to be going in this section with the Flames and with the Quips. You got to be going full force, no doubt about it. Just to keep an eye, though, on Brody McQuiston, because he's, doing quick math, 29 points away from passing Big Brother Colin on the Shenango all-time scoring list. So kudos to the McQuiston family. 3 different names now on there. And how about Big Bob McQuiston with his 200th career victory, by the way, over the holiday break. We mentioned Laurel. They lost to Shenango and then lost to Southside in their 2 opening section games. And again, a team that is very young, getting their feet wet, no seniors on the roster, playing injured. Lucas Santini has missed the last couple of games. He's one of the top scorers on the team. No one averaging double digits right now, but a couple guys you want to keep your eye on. Jaden Iorio, a big guy who can shoot it from the outside. And how about the freshman, Anthony Zaccardi, really coming on big. Got a career-high 19 points against Shenango. A real threat from downtown. Keep your ears open for that name, Anthony Zaccardi, the rest of this year and for the next 3 years potentially here for the Spartans. Class 1A Union Scotties, they split their opening week of section games, now 1-1, 4-8 overall. Scotties able to come back and defeat Cornell after losing a tight one on the road to Carleton to start off section play. They will be playing Western Beaver and Rochester in a couple of big ones here in the section. Actually, they'll be in that Ron Galbraith Classic as well. We'll talk about that in a moment, taking on Farrell over the weekend. But when you look at the Union Scotties, again, it's can they get the consistent scoring? They're pretty balanced. Lucas Stanley at 18.5 a game, Braylon Thomas 15 a game, Grayson Blakely at 10 a game. It's the issue, though, that when can you get the that 4th and 5th guy maybe to get a little more scoring, because right now those 3 are taking up a huge brunt. Actually, about 85% of the scoring coming from that trio. So, and Grayson especially hitting it well from outside. Scotties have hit 100 3-pointers through the first 12 games. Sometimes you live and die by the 3. That might be a little bit more than what coach is looking for in terms of number of threes that they're hitting. But hey, that's what the Union Scotties can do. They have some sharpshooters. They're going to keep on doing what they're going to keep on doing. And finally, for Wilmington, up in District 10, they had a tight loss in their last game. But an 0-11 start, unfortunately, right now for Wilmington. We knew it was going to be a rough year for sure for this team, but a lot of things to hang your hat on and be saying, hey, we played strong. A 5-point loss to Jamestown. I look at Freddie Zahetner, who missed the first 9 games of the year. He puts up 19 against Jamestown. Landon Klein, another strong performance, 13 points for him in that game. Those are the 2 guys, and Will Bruckner is the leading scorer right now overall for the Hounds. You're just looking for daily improvements, and I think you're starting to see them. It's going to start to come together. It might not all happen at once, but still things that Coach Marmo can take some positives away from, and that's really all you can ask for at this point. That's going to do it for this edition of the podcast. Real quick, take a look, the schedule going on this weekend. A fun Saturday-Sunday slate of games at Westminster College. The good old Ron Galbraith Classic that will be taking place first on Saturday. So 5 games each day. When the Shannock girls get things started at 1:30 against West Middlesex, the Fairview girls taking on Wilmington at 3 o'clock. The middle of the day, the Union boys taking on Farrell. Then 6 o'clock, the Mohawk boys following up against Beaver. So 4 games to start today, all featuring county teams, and then Aliquippa against Franklin is the 7:30 scheduled nightcap. Then on Sunday at the Memorial Fieldhouse, the Laurel boys kick things off against West Middlesex at 1:30. Right after that, Newcastle taking on Struthers out of Ohio. That's a 3 o'clock start. Erie against Mars. That's a fun game. 5A, 6A going at it. Doesn't feature a county team, but that's definitely one that we're going to be interested in seeing the results. That's a 4:30 start. And then the Shenango girls and boys in a doubleheader against Mercer. The girls at 6 and the boys at 7:30. That's on Sunday there at Westminster College. Should be a fun one for sure. Not positive we're going to be able to get any of those games on the air. We're looking into it, and we'll find out. If not, we'll be getting some live updates for sure over the course of those 2 days. Thanks again to our sponsor here, delivering these good factoids for you each and every week, Penn Ohio Bottled Water Delivery. Thanks to them. Thanks again for Luxembourg, Garbutt, Kelly, and George, and the Lawrence County Community Action Partnership for our monthly awards. Glad to be able to give those out. We'll get the shirts and trophies out to those respective parties here shortly, and congratulations to them, and congratulations to all the teams. Great starts to the year. Let's ramp it up here in January. Plenty of broadcasts coming your way. Some more bocce action as well to go along with the basketball games. Wrestling, bowling, all coming up in the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned on the Lawrence County SportsNet. It's powered by LCAP.